All right, I see already a message in the chat, so I think that's a good sign to start. Welcome to today's webinar here with neuroflash, where it's all about you, your questions, and our answers to your questions. And as the name says on the slide, we also bring some great news at the end of our session today. So yeah, don't leave us before that. It's worth it, I can promise that. Yeah, welcome to today's session. It's good to have you all here. Let's quickly wait for the rest of the people to join. As someone already has used the chat, let me tell everyone that on the right side of your screen, you can use the chat. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, just put them in there. And on the left side, you should see my shared screen and also myself, and not only myself, but later on also a colleague I brought today for you in order for you to answer the questions properly. What do we want to cover today in this webinar? Today, as I said, it's all about you. We asked you to submit some questions that you might have regarding neuroflash in general, regarding the generation of AI text and so forth. And you did that, so thank you very much for doing that. And then afterwards, in case there are some more questions that you might have throughout the webinar, as I said, put them down in the chat, and we're gonna come back to those after we discuss with you the questions that were already submitted. And in the end, we're gonna share the news and a surprise for you to take home afterwards. My name is Lasse. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at neuroflash. Have been doing these webinars for some months now, so you might know my face already. But today I also brought someone else. And Hendrik, if you would like to, present yourselves.
Sure, yeah, welcome everybody. I'm Hendrik, co-founder and CMO of neuroflash, and really excited about your questions and about all the answers we hopefully can give you.
Great, thank you so much, Hendrik. And with that, let us continue. As I said it already, this is redundant pretty much, but if you have more questions, put them on in the chat. So I think we can skip this for now and start already with the first set of submitted questions that reached us and that we would like to answer. And this part of the submitted questions will be answered by Hendrik. So may I ask you to
Yeah,
him?
of course. So the first question is why all generated words count. It's an easy answer because we also have costs per word. So every word you generate means costs to us. So there's just no other way than doing it like that. Otherwise, we still want to invest in our product, in your product, and we need to also think economically here. So that's why that's the case. But I can assure you that every day we're working hard on improving the quality of the generated text. So I really hope that you won't actually see a big difference here. The other one is, yes, we will actually change our pricing soon. I can't give you an exact timing here, but probably within the next 3 months to just, the SCET, which is referenced in here, 29 to 79 is quite big. We want to serve everybody also who may use less words than the 20,000. And we also, we want to offer more flexible pricing. More details I can't give, unfortunately, because we are still in the concept phase here, but there will be something new coming very soon for sure. The other question now is a really long one. It's more about how can I use neuroflash for more the marketing research and forecasts of customer and industry market analysis. We don't offer a product for that specifically, but what I want to point out here is besides the AI writer, we also have the AI tester, and the AI tester is a product which helps you to optimize your content for different audiences and for different market segments. So here the use case is more you already have existing content. Mostly it's like short form content like headlines, slogans, etc. And those you want to test and see whether your target audience and target group is actually liking them before you actually send out this content. So this is maybe a product which would be interesting for you then. And you can't decide how many texts are generated per query. That's correct, but we will also change that very soon. So you also have more flexibility here. And does the AI remember my style? It shows, it analyzes what text you have selected to be able to improve. So next time somebody generates content with neuroflash, it will be improved. But at this point, at least, it's not adapting to your personal style. This can be done more with our new command feature, where you can really describe what your tone is, and then just tell that our magic pen, and it will actually write in that tone. So it has some impact, but not on a personal level, but this will also be on our roadmap for next year.
Great. Thank you so much, Henrik. Let me continue with the second set of questions that you raised and submitted. And these questions more refer actually to the text generation. So whenever you are in the app and you generate text, there were some questions you submitted. And I summarized them because some of them were doubled pretty much. And the first question I'm going to talk about here on the slide, and the next three questions are some questions that I'm going to show you in our app. So you're also going to see our app today in this webinar. The first question is pretty similar actually to the one that Henrik just answered. How can text proposals be better differentiated? What influence does my input actually have, or my briefing have? And here the word briefing is already super important. Generally speaking, you have two different options of giving the AI your input. One is by using our standard default briefing template, which you probably know, where you select the text type and then you select the context, the input, the topic that you want to write about. And here you can imagine the less that you enter in that briefing, the broader you stick in your input in your briefing, the more creative the AI will get, because it has less context. And when it has less context, it's going to work a bit more creative, and it's going to suggest text to you that you might not even have thought about, that would fit to your topic. Just because if you just give the AI one keyword, of course, it can do more with one keyword. It can have more creative answers to one keyword, versus when you really differentiate and build a complete briefing that talks about your target group, talks about the benefits of your product, so on and so forth. So you can say, when you keep your briefing very short, very snappy, only with one keyword, the answers you're going to get will be more creative, more widely spread. But when you are very distinct in your briefing, if you're very detailed, you'll become, or you get answers that fit probably a bit better to what you have already thought about when you wanted to generate the text. And the second option of differentiating text or giving input is via the command feature that Henrik just told you. And then I'm going to switch that later on in the app. But also here, and this is one of the main advantages of the command feature, which I talked about in last week's webinar, is that you can be super specific. You can tell the AI what you want, and you're going to get it. So these are the two ways with which you can influence the output by the AI. And then the next three questions, the first one of those refers to how can I write an email from subject line to content? The second question was, does the app also do or provide the Parcel model, which I, to be honest, did not know before, but it's it's a communication model that talks about the problem, the agitation of that problem, and a solution and offer for that problem. So does the app also cover this model? And then lastly, how can I change the recipient of a message? And in order to show you how we can actually solve these three questions and give an answer, let me quickly jump into our app. And I suppose that you already know our app, so let me quickly and directly jump into our AI writer. Let's start a new document. But that is a wrong language. We want it to be in English, of course, for right now. And the first question talked about how can I write actually full emails from subject line to maybe a preview text to actually the content. And here, luckily, we just redeveloped our text type for the whole email category. So if you want to do that, if you want to create an entire email, go into our text type drop-down list, scroll down until you find our email and push category. And here you see actually everything that you need. And as I just said, we revised the content and the text types with an email marketing expert so that the content that you're going to get out of those text types is actually sufficient for direct purpose or direct use of your emails. So here, what would I do? I would start with getting some subject lines for a specific topic that I want to cover. I can then in the next step already select my newsletter pre-header, so which is the second type of text that I need for an email. And then you can differentiate between a lot of different kinds of emails that we are able to generate. You can generate a welcome email, a sales email, an event promotion email, a newsletter introduction, a reactivation email. So whenever there are some customers that you have that maybe are about to churn, are about to cancel, or leave you, or do not order anymore at your online store, you can use this text type to develop a reactivation email. So you see, we offer a lot of different options for you to actually create emails from the first step to the last step. So feel free to check this out. And as I said, all these text types have been improved, optimized with the help of an email marketing expert. The second question regarded the so-called Parcel model. And let me quickly go back to that one. Let me quickly copy this. And here, what I would do, because we do not cover this model as a text type, in the realm of that whole communication models, we do offer some models, such as the AIDA model, AIDA model, so that talks about awareness, interest, desire, and action. So this is what we do cover. This model specifically, we do not cover. So what would I do if I wanted to create a text using this model, using these 3 to 4 steps? I would use the command feature. And how does that work? So first we need a problem, or we want to have a problem generated for us. So I could say, develop a text using the Parcel model. First, define a problem around the topic of urban development. Then we want to talk about the agitation. So why is this problem so severe? Why is it so difficult to solve? And here we will go step by step and then turn it into a command. I'll show you how that works. Then give an example of why this problem is so severe. Lastly, suggest a solution to the problem. So you see, what I just did is that I developed pretty much my own text type according to a customer's wish of having a text that works with a PASO model. So what do I do now? I develop my command, I highlight the text, and then I click on this icon here, the command icon. And what should now happen is that we should get text that follows the instructions that we just gave. So we want to have a problem, and you see it right now. And we're going to have a solution also. So we have a problem, we have information that tells us why this problem is so severe. And lastly, we also have a solution as to how we can actually tackle this problem. And I tried this before. If you try to repeat the command, in some ways you would also get maybe more of a kind of a list of information, so that actually differentiates it differentiates the 4 kind of steps of the model. So it would first say problem, and then gives you the answer, and then it would go to the second step. So that could also be a result of the command feature for this case. But what I wanted to show you is that you can define your own text types by just giving certain commands. And I would do that the same way for answering this third question that we got. How can I change the recipient of a message? So here you could just say, please, let's imagine this would be a text that talked to a mayor of a city, but we wanted to have this text differently so that it directs the residents of a city. So we could just say, I know this doesn't fit right now, but just imagine that you had a text like that. You could say, please rewrite the text above so that it addresses the residents and not the mayor. And what you would do then is just highlighting and marking the entire text. So the command, including the text that you refer to, and you click on command, and it should rewrite the text so that the recipient is different. Okay, and there were actually two more kind of questions, but I'm going to wait for some minutes to show you these questions because they are actually pretty have something to do with our news that we wanted to share with you today. So let's just wait a minute for those. And in the meantime, let's see if there are some more questions in our chat.
Yeah, I really like Santo's question. Will I get any certificate for this training? Actually, that's something we're thinking about to come up with like more structured training and some kind of university and an academy. But feel free to send us your ideas. Like, why do you would like to have a certificate? What do you want to do with it? This will help us a lot to come up with a really nice concept.
And just one comment, because Santosh, I know you're here every week, so you'll be one of the first to receive a certificate. I'll make sure of that.
Nice. Cool. Then Thomas, maybe the answer to your question is actually one of our news. We know that there was a certain struggle with exporting content out of our editor, and we just yeah, you will see in a second what we launched today. And how can we create a more spiritually tone? I guess my answer would be use the command feature and try to describe what kind of tone you like. So you can write a blog article in a very spiritual tone, or which is addressing XY. Or like this, rewrite the text above. So just name it, what you expect in a very clear tone, and then the magic pen will actually come up with something in this direction.
Great.
Cool.
I think with this, we have answered our questions so far. So let me continue with our news of today. And actually, indeed, one of the questions that you raised, Thomas, is a question that we had or have had for some time. So how do I export text correctly, copy or paste, or is there any other solution? And HTML is something that was quite often asked. So let me give you news about that in a minute. And the second question, for which we also have news today, was if it's possible to create longer text with neuroflash, especially books or ebooks. And for this, in order to share the news with you, let me again jump to our app. And for those of you who know our text editor already very well, you should see that this icon here is a new one. So this button here was launched today, and what's hidden behind it is the opportunity to export text out of your text editor as HTML by just clicking on here, and you see you get an HTML download of the text. And with this, I hope, Thomas, that your question is solved, that you don't have to just copy paste the text and maybe have some formatting issues with that. And then the second news about can I write books with neuroflash? Yes, indeed. For this, just quickly follow me all the way down to our text type list, and we added a new section here called writing a book. And again, we work together with an expert, a creative writer, a person that teaches people how to write creatively and longer text. And with her, we also developed quite a range of different kinds of text types that you can use now to create text that is being written for books, for creative books, but also for nonfiction books. So here we have really a lot of different text types you can use to start your creative writing process and fulfill your dream if your dream is to publish a book. Now you can do that with AI. And I know that Henrik wants to publish a book at some point, so maybe he can start doing that with our magic pen. And yeah, so these were the news from a technical text type perspective. And maybe, yeah, Henrik, you have some more news and a surprise rather.
Yeah, we just launched really a few minutes ago. We launched our Black Friday offer, and we are different in some case because we are not only offering you discounts, we also donate 10% of all the revenue we make in this time. So we have it on for 2 weeks until 30th of November. So all we donate and you save. So we have 3 different deals going on for every part of, if you're an existing customer or a new customer or just testing us out. For all the options, you have an opportunity to get the deals. And the great thing is that you can vote for one of the organizations we help. So if you scroll down a bit, you see the 3 different organizations we support. They are you can actually vote, and the number 1, which gets the most vote, we will actually help and donate the money to. So it's yeah, we're really looking forward to your votes here, even though you might not purchase any plans from us. Just participate in this donation help.
Great, thank you very much, Henrik. And let me quick look into the chat. So apparently, Henrik, I did not answer Thomas' question. So he says his question was not answered. His question was, I have copy-paste text into the new doc to rewrite the text, but it has split in small sections, but I don't need small sections. How can I avoid it?
It's pretty hard to really understand it, Thomas, but just send us an email. I will drop the email here with the screenshot, what you're meaning with the small sections, and then I'm sure we can help you. Cool.
Great, awesome.
Thanks.
And so we covered the Black Week, and with this, I only have one last thing to say. Please save the date. We do have some more webinars to come in the future, and one of those is on November 30th, and we're gonna invite a digital expert that is also a neuroflash user and happens to use neuroflash for all of the LinkedIn posts that he publishes. So if you're interested in getting to know how people use neuroflash when they want to publish new LinkedIn articles, feel free to sign up to our webinar in 2 weeks via this link that I just sent into the chat. Of course, it's free again, so no costs. Again, roughly about half an hour. And 2 weeks after that, on December 14th, we have a pretty similar webinar in the sense that there's also going to be an expert talking. So not only me, but also an expert, an external expert that uses neuroflash to create SEO optimized articles, content. Sign-ups are not yet open for that one, but yeah, just save the date and I'll be happy to see you there, see you then. And I think it's going to be very great to see how users of neuroflash actually use neuroflash for their use cases. Okay, and Henrik, if you don't have anything else to say, I just have one last wish. As always, it'd be great if you could just click on this link right now that you should see on your screen, give us feedback about what you liked, what you did not like, and just enter and submit your ideas for some other focus areas for upcoming webinars. We'd be very glad if you have some feedback for us.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. See you guys.